I'm joined by Gilad Regev, CEO of Kora App. Thank you very much for joining me, Gilad.
It's a pleasure being with you here, Daniel.
Oh, glad to hear it. And where are you right now? Where are you taking the call from?
I'm taking that from Riga in Latvia. So
Riga.
we're based in Riga, and it's quiet Saturday morning.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's quiet here in London as well.
Yeah.
But you're currently in Riga, but you're also split half your time in St. Petersburg.
That is correct. That's where my family lives. So
Oh, I
my
see.
better half and my two children out of four, I have another two. And for my first marriage, they're in St. Petersburg.
We talked about this when we met the other day, but my mom is from St. Petersburg, and my dad is from Riga. So lots of connections there, and yeah, it's cool to see that. I've been to St. Petersburg, like we were saying, but Riga is next on the list to explore the family history. But I've seen photos. It looks like an absolutely beautiful city.
Yeah, it is absolutely, and very quiet. Like I'm sitting in the city center, and it's like it's silence here, silent.
Really? Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually really nice. It's kind of a combination of the big and small.
yeah, and very green, very green.
Beautiful. Um, so the reason why what I was really interested in with Kora App is that you have a really big goal, I think, which is and this is the way I understand it. It's like you're trying to create a new economy, which, from what I've read, you've called it the sustainability economy, and it's based on rewards rather than like punishments. And so, because from what I read, the current system is more on the punishment, which is in the form of carbon credits,
Correct.
right? So, first of all, what is a carbon credit? And let's start with that because I'm not too familiar.
So I'll make it very simple
Yeah,
without going into the whole mechanism. But carbon credit is really a way to buy out. Um,
I see.
so so companies and countries say they can just continue to pollute, and they just buy with money a balancing of the carbon. So what they do, they buy from companies or countries with a lower footprint.
Yeah.
They buy those credits. So
Oh, I
it's really
see.
what we did, and that's what we used to do. We're saying, okay, there is a problem. Let's put a tag price on that problem, and let's buy it.
Just pay it
That
off, basically.
exactly, and that is not rewarding anyone to actually take actions. So so there is no, and there are many articles, and there are a lot of studies made on carbon credits, and carbon credits should have been, I mean, the target price is around 120 $140 per ton. Yesterday I checked it. So yes, it was in Europe, was around 45 euro per ton in August, but now it's down to 25.
So
And
the target price, sorry, that's just what was agreed upon at, was that the Paris Agreement?
that was in the Kyoto. That
Oh,
started,
Kyoto.
yeah, that started in Kyoto, and that was kind of a target price. I say that's when the pricing of carbon that will be expensive enough for companies in order to act for real, or
Right.
countries to act for real. And if the price of carbon is too low, then it's much easier simply to buy it, but not to replace your coal plant production or the energy which is based on coal into renewable energies, for example, because your coal plant is fairly new, it's only 10 years. I can run it for another 30 years. Okay, I'm polluting, I'll buy it out. And this is the trade that you are looking at,
So it's
which
almost like just a tax. It's just a business expense.
just another line in the P&L. And also, it's very easy to then push that expense on the value chain, because nobody knows if you have another friction of 0.2% of that you just push on your next in line. your customers, then in practically you paid zero.
Yeah, and no one really notices it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if we actually if carbon credits are charged at the price that they should be, like, which is $120 to $140, then it's too difficult to just push that price onto customers down the line.
It will be more difficult. I'm not saying that everyone is doing that. Let's be just clear about that. I'm just saying that it's becoming, it is not resolving the major issue. And you started, and also generally your podcast is about economy, and that's where I think that, or the economy of climate change. That's also where I think where Kora is very relevant. And maybe we should look at the very big picture and
Mhm.
why do we take such a global view, and why do we call it a sustainability economy?
Yeah.
So, to begin with, climate change is an economical issue. So you can look at it from different angles, but one way to present it, and that's what we are doing, we are looking at what the carbon economy cost humanity. And so there was a study made by IMF just before the COP 21, which was in Paris in 2015,
Mhm.
that gave a tag price of $5.3 trillion per year to what they call the carbon economy. That's including subsidies to oil and gas, etc., etc. Now came a study by Greenpeace just a week ago that's saying, in addition to that, the cost of pollution to humanity is around the 3 trillion per year, 2.8 if I remember correctly. So give and take, you're talking about 8 trillion. Just good morning world, carbon economy and climate change cost us 8 trillion per year.
Wow.
Okay, which is, what is it, about 8 9 maybe 10% of the global economy. So in order to, and I heard many other examples and many other people in your podcast, and people that are doing an amazing work, amazing, really. I mean, I'm really impressed. The question that we ask ourselves, or to to be honest, it was myself asking myself, how can we deal with climate change at a scale? Because it's a humongous problem, and yes, we need to to plant one tree at a time, and we have to install one solar panel at a time, but we need to accelerate it from one hand, and at the same time we need to make it very simple for people to be able to um, act on climate. And we will get back to that. But let's stay with the economy. So what we were trying to figure out, and it took us quite a long time, and the way that we describe it today is that if you put economical value, or at least you increase in economical value on carbon reduction versus the carbon production, which is our regular economy,
Mhm.
suddenly you can change here the economy.
So what you're saying, just so I'm following, it's what you're saying is if basically reducing or sequestering carbon more is more beneficial from a financial standpoint. If it's better from a money standpoint to reduce or sequester carbon than it is to pollute or emit carbon.
Correct. So what Kora is doing, Kora is rewarding you
Yeah.
for the carbon reduction. That's what we do. If you
Rather than uh, punishing.
exactly, exactly. So carbon pollution is what we do on a daily basis. That's the GDP. We're encouraging. We are very happy to see the GDP growing. We're producing more stuff. We are full of stuff around us. We are
Yeah.
buying more. I have some friends that told me, I have a friend that told me he's buying 20 shirts per year and throwing them after 1 year, and then he's buying another 20 shirts. That's a carbon production.
Yeah. Fast fashion.
Same when you are driving a car, etc. But if you walk or use a bicycle, or if you eat vegetarian, don't become like me, pescatarian, you call it.
Pescatarian, yeah.
You don't have to come. I mean, just reduce the amount of we will come back to what individuals can do. That's a carbon reduction, and we will reward you for that. So what Kora does is putting a value on those reductions, actions of reductions of carbon.
And that value is that like that's a financial value?
So I mean, we look at Kora as a point system.
Okay.
We actually creating the Earth loyalty program. That's
Earth
how.
loyalty program. Yeah, I think it's trademarked, right?
Yes, yes. So we just trademarked it, and what are points at the ability? Well, it's simply make it much simpler for people to understand and to work with. And if you think about it, when you get your points from, and that's a very good example, and that's one of the reasons why we decided, okay, let's look at it as point systems. And you can compare it to the point system, so loyalty system of the airlines. So
Right.
there you are being rewarded by producing more carbon.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying we will reward you by reducing the carbon. And of course, the value, so yes, there is a value there, and the value actually will derive by what the community or us are willing to put into a carbon reduction. We have very precise ways of where do we want to go. We even have a pricing on that
Okay.
will bring it exactly to the point of where Kyoto wanted to be.
Hmm.
I don't want to go into those deep discussions, but and also there is no point to do that because the key factor that we think that will work and succeed is to make it simple for people to understand.
So in terms of kind of more on a logistical level, so I guess there's the app. It's
Yeah.
what we're calling Kora App, and that's like the website Kora.app. Um, and the idea is that the app lives on your phone,
Mhm.
and well, you showed it to me the other day, and basically it tracks like the number of steps you take. So currently, you were saying that it's just based on mobility, meaning walking, driving, cycling.
Yeah.
That's in its current stage, and then you'll add more to it.
Yeah.
So, so how does it work? So I just open the app on my phone, and it's constantly running, and it's just tracking what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, kind of like an Apple Watch or a Fitbit or something. It's just tracking my
Absolutely.
steps.
Absolutely. So I hope you can see it. So
Look at
this
that, 21,000 steps. Oh man, it's embarrassing. Today
that
is,
that's from yesterday.
oh
Yes.
wow, okay,
And,
good.
that's from yesterday. Yes.
I
So
don't want to show you my like pathetic 8,000 steps.
it's okay. It's okay. So what we do since I walked yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes, you see that my footprint is actually or my okay. I was breathing, but we are not going there. Um, so my um, carbon emission was zero. So
Hmm.
what the app does is exactly what you said. It's working in the background, and mobility to track mobility today is easy. I mean, there is no way deep technology from that point of view. But what we decided to do is say okay, we have that capability, but the key indicator, the two key indicators that we give you in the app. One is your footprint. So, and I will explain also why did we go there. And the other is what was the reduction in comparison to a benchmark.
Hmm.
Okay, so you compare yourself to a benchmark that we Kora and we're using some experts on that suggesting. Plus, you can compare yourself to your friends, to the Kora community, etc., etc. Now, why did we start with such an app? We were searching for two things. We're searching for an engaging tool in order to bring it to hundreds of millions and billions of people. And at the same time, we also need, of course, to have a business model, because at the end of the day, we need to make sure that Kora is up and running and can serve the community. And what we understood is that we're all looking at Greta, and we're hearing so many things, and we all hear about all these gigatons of CO2. But at the end of the day, do you really understand what is 1 kilogram of CO2?
No, and yeah, once you start getting to gigatons, it gets very complicated. But yeah, I mean, I can
Even
sort
a
of understand like
kilogram.
a kilogram in terms of,
But do you feel it?
no, I have no idea.
We feel a kilometer or mile. We feel a kilogram of pound. We feel an hour. We feel a liter, but we don't feel a kilogram of CO2. So the first thing that we say, how can you act on something that you don't feel?
Yeah.
Because the apps that you mentioned, you know, the mobility, the step counting, etc., they really work. And people actually walking more. I know I walk more thanks to these applications, like 30, 40, 50, maybe I walk even 200% more once I start to measure. And we said, hey, first of all, we'll give you a real-time measurement tool,
Mhm.
because the majority of the CO2 calculators out there, the absolutely majority, give you a number. So you just put in the data of your way of living. Like if you go to WWF, they have a very nice, very nice calculator. And then they tell you, Daniel, you have 7 tons per year. Okay? It doesn't tell you anything. Number one,
Yeah.
what 7 is okay, and the average is 2. Okay, but what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. How
It
do I
really
take action based on that information?
exactly, and that's where the app is coming in. So the first day you will walk, and you will still use your car, or you will combine car, walking, and public transport, and you will see 12 kilo for the day. Okay. Second day it will be 11. Third day you went to visit your parents in other city, and it became 20. But you start after 1-2 weeks to start to feel what does it mean, the way that you're acting and moving.
I see what you mean.
You start to get a feeling
Hmm.
2 kilogram, because the app will give it to you.
It's kind of like when you, there's some people who go on a diet, and you know what they say is to weigh yourself every morning, just as a way to stay motivated first of all, and to watch the progress. And I think as part of that, you can also tell when you're when you change your eating habits, you can start seeing the fluctuations, and you can, it just becomes, you can just instantly feel, oh, I've just had a slice of pizza. I know what that's going to mean in a day or two for my
Exactly.
weight. And that's basically what you're saying, is you can start taking a look at what your carbon emissions are based on actions you do or don't take. That's really cool. So
Yeah.
first, so what you're saying is start with the baseline. So understand where you are currently so that you can actually make changes, and you'll know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So that's and we started with transportation and mobility because it's easy to track.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable with that idea. That's something that innately makes sense to me. I mean, my iPhone already has a walking or step counter built
Exactly.
in.
Exactly. And exactly. And even in a very in developing markets, one of the thoughts that we have is simply to have a very simple wrist with GPS.
Hmm.
Everyone can actually, and I will go back into the combination of the connection between developed and developing markets. It's quite interesting and that's hence is an economy. We look at it as an economy and how to combine the two. So that's one part of it. The second part is the reduction. That's where you start to earn Koras. That's
So,
where the points are stepping in. So let's say that according to our studies, the budget on transportation of an average person, carbon budget,
okay,
is a 15 kilogram per day. We're still working on that, but let's say that that's the number, okay?
okay,
Now, if you made 10 kilograms for the day, you reduce it by 5 kilograms, you will receive 5 Koras
Mm. So a Kora is basically a reduction.
of a
Kora
kilo.
is a kilo reduction of CO2.
Exactly. Well, we'll have some multiples. So if you walk, you will have more because walking is more than taking the scooter. But in
Right.
principle, one kilogram reduction is 1 Kora.
I'm curious because is it I just discovered the difference between CO2 and CO2e, also known as CO2 equivalents. So like because what I've learned is that methane, for example, is I hear different numbers, but I'm seeing either 34 or 28 times more in powerful as a greenhouse gas than
Yeah,
carbon dioxide.
true.
So, you were mentioning that you're starting with mobility, but then I'm assuming that your diet will factor into it.
Totally.
So if I stop eating meat and specifically beef, because that's one of the worst as far as methane production, will so are you, is that gonna be a huge increase in the amount of Kora I can earn because methane is so much more powerful as a greenhouse gas?
Absolutely. So according to what we researched, 1 kilogram of beef,
Hmm.
just to understand a bit numbers,
Yeah,
you don't have, as a user, you don't have to worry about because the app will do it automatically for you.
right.
So 1 kilogram of beef is equal to 32 kilogram of CO2.
So that's taking into account the methane and
Yes.
everything.
Yes.
I see.
While
That
1 kilometer is about, if you take an average car, if you compare it to average car, you are looking at around 200 grams. Depends. I'm talking about average cars, so not the very modern cars which can go, under 100, but we take 200 as a benchmark. 1 kilowatt hour of electricity produced from coal is about 1 kilogram. So the app will do all this for you in the background, and you,
mhm.
as a user, you don't have to worry about it. All what you have to do is to open the app, connect it to the different APIs, and you can decide which APIs you want. And you're right, we're starting with transportation, mobility. We'll go into food, into energy, recycling, even education. I'll come back to that, because it's really, education is huge,
Yeah.
important, especially education of women or young girls in developing countries.
Hmm.
Um, and the app will do it all for you, and you will have two numbers. One number is your footprint, and the number one is how much did you manage to save in comparison to a benchmark, in comparison, and that will be your Koras. So comparison to the benchmark, that will be your Koras, but you can also compare yourself to others. And at the end of the day, the purpose is that an average family will earn enough Kora which give them an equivalent of 100 or 150 euro, pounds, dollars, whatever. They're more or less a Swiss franc, they're more or less equal per month, which is very powerful.
So Kora, so far so Kora is actually also a currency.
Let's say equivalent value in points. So you
So
will get
it's like you were saying about airline miles.
exactly.
So you
But
can trade your miles for
correct.
either more flights if we're just sticking to airlines, or you can even cash them in for hotels or sometimes rental cars, I think.
Correct. While in our case, we are. I mean, the plan is to build both. Probably we'll go into peer-to-peer marketplace,
Okay.
which makes a lot of sense as part of the community economy, or marketplace of the community. And we will then also, and we're already in talking with quite many companies for them to join the Kora marketplace. We can touch upon it more in detail later, and then receiving discounts,
Mhm.
etc. etc. So that's what we call a value, and we don't want to go into the currency. It's too complex for people. Let's keep it simple. There's a point system, but that's more or less the target to reach those kind of approximate values.
Got it. And so you mentioned partnering with companies. So I guess the way it would work is you would partner with some company, and they would accept Kora.
Yeah. So what we are coming and saying to companies, we're talking to one of the largest oil company in the world. Okay, and that's really interesting. Why are we talking to an oil company? We're talking to their renewable energy division.
Hmm.
So so they have a, they are serving today more than 1.5 million consumers that simply buy from them electricity, which is all based on renewable energy. And we're saying, hey, we would like to partner with you. So number one, your customers can own Kora because their source of energy is renewable and not the carbon. So only your customers that buying from you the renewable part
Hmm.
can own Kora, which means we are making your product cheaper for them. We're actually subsidizing your product for them
Because they get points.
as they get points, and that will, number one, it will enable you to offer that now to more customers,
Right.
because the points will go back to the value of the coin, but the points will actually make your product, your renewable product, cheaper. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's one part of the equation. At the same time, we would like you to accept Kora, because by you accepting Kora, you are participating in giving value for the reduction for your customers or your future, current and future. Okay? And in addition to that, we believe, and we are strongly believe, and we know, I mean, we almost like know it for almost for fact, we need to prove it, that we can drive to you more customers from our community and say, hey, here is a way for you to earn more Kora. Here is a channel, and everyone is actually winning. Okay. From there, we can go into public transport company and invite them to join. From there, to a food store chain and invite them to join, etc., etc., and then also go into the local economy. So at the end of the day, the local restaurant or the local coffee will also accept Kora for discounts or whatever, because everyone understands that this is part of our mutual work into creating an economy which reducing carbon.
So it seems like everyone needs to agree that the Quora is, I mean, you didn't want to say the word currency, but to a certain degree that, I mean,
Has,
it's like,
has value.
has value. Exactly. I mean, it is in that sense a currency, because if a multinational energy company is going to not only accept, but, well, if they're going to accept Quora, that has to have some sort of monetary equivalent value to it, right? I mean, they need to be able to do something with that um, if they're taking it instead of money.
So we calculated to this company that even if they don't do anything with the Quora, we made a calculations for them, and they have, we started actually with one of the subsidies that they have a cashback system. And we calculated to them that we show them a very, very high monetary value to their bottom line by, for example, replacing their cashback system with a Koras system.
Oh, I see. So you replace that. Okay.
Okay, and
So you could do the same thing, kind of just bring it back to airlines, because that's really easy. Rather than doing miles, you have Quora.
yeah, absolutely. So, and with airlines, we can do the same. We're actually looking to talk to connect to work with airlines, because we don't think people will stop to fly.
Yeah.
But the miles can be, or the Quora can be given for behavior before, during, and after the flight. How do you arrive to the airport? What is your choice of food?
By the way, how do you arrive to the airport?
Well, depends which one. So in London, unfortunately, it's too far for me. But usually in Berlin and Riga, I'm walking. So so I would
That's
say like
so funny.
yes, I would say that, and also in the winter time. So I would say that up to 10, 12 kilometers, and also depends. If it's 10 o'clock in the night, I will not do it. But if I land during the day, or if I have a morning flight and I come early now, so I try to set my meetings in the way that I have time to walk to the city.
That's amazing. So you like completely derailed our conversation. I just love that you walk to and from the airport. I mean, I've never even considered doing that. That's such a cool way, and I guess that's exactly the power of the Kora app is that you become so motivated by the tracking and by the reward system that you try to find ways to earn the points and
Total,
core.
total. So I started there to work before we had the app there, and now earning some Koras. But even before, I did it for the last I don't know, I would say 6 7 years. So
Wow.
I work quite a lot.
21,000 steps was it yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday it was yes 21,000.
That's
Yes,
amazing. So, well, I think what's really cool about this whole system is that it's it's kind of like a gamification of your life almost. And I think in today's society, people are already really obsessed with tracking everything. I mean, whether it's what you're eating, there's some people who are like into intermittent fasting, not eating for 16 hours or something. And there's apps that can track the number of hours you haven't been eating. So this is just um, basically another version of that. It's rather than tracking your fasting or something kind of more arbitrary, I suppose. It's tracking actually how much you're emitting in terms of CO2, um,
absolutely.
and that's such a concern for the world. Plus, what's cool is that rather than just getting points or badges, which are just fun to look at, you're actually earning some sort of point or like a currency almost that you can redeem somewhere.
Absolutely, and it goes even further. It goes even further. Now, I'm really a good example for that. I'm unfortunately, even though that I'm really working on that very hard, I'm still flying too much.
Hmm.
I work very hard now to reduce it. But also people that not flying that much, but people that say have difficulty to change their behavior, and or it will be very slow. Okay, person that eat 5 times per week meat and say very 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 hard, okay, I will reduce it to 4, but it's still the footprint is too high. Or just if we want to go into even to be a negative carbon,
Yeah.
or to speak carbon, what we will allow people to do is to subscribe with us, and we will use that subscription partly to run the company, but the major part will go into working with partners on carbon offsetting. So actually, what we are saying in Kora, hey, the major work is carbon reduction, but yes, offsetting is not as strong, but you can certainly offset with us. So let me give you an example, because I find it really fascinating, and that also will connect the worlds here. And I hope it will help a little bit to explain our way of thinking. And we actually now in talk with some of your earlier guests, which I found that you really have some fascinating people that were talking in the show
Thank you.
podcast. And one of them is Steve Fitch. We just started to talk to him, and
Hmm.
with Eden, and it's fascinating what he did. And by the way, what Steve did is really interesting. He also changed the economy. He changed the economy of chopping tree versus planting tree. So he made planting tree more economical viable to the people in the countries where he's working
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
chopping them. So And
They
he
make more money by actually planting the trees and keeping and taking care of them than cutting them down and making charcoal or just selling it for wood.
exactly, and that's he just proved what our hypothesis, which because we still need to launch, and so we're just starting now to speak with Steve, and it's early days of discussions, but here is the plan. So the plan is that people will subscribe with Kora, and starting from as low as $3.99 per month. Okay, so that for you, and Steve will be one of 3 or 4 or 5 different programs that we will offer. And the programs or partners that we are looking to work with are those that where the euro, dollar, or pound will buy most efficient carbon reduction. Okay, where there is a very thin layer of administration cost, etc. So, and what he managed to do amazingly is to plant a tree at 10 cents.
Yeah,
So $1 will buy 10 trees, which is remarkable.
it is. Yeah.
So what we are all saying to Steve, hey, we will donate to you, or I don't like to work the word donate, but we will work with you. And the Kora community coming from mostly will come, not only, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but mostly will come from the developed world, from Europe, from the US, Canada, whatever, will be part of our subscription program. This money will go to plant trees or to install solar panels with other partners, or to do a recycling project.
Hmm.
But if we stay now with Steve, you will then have more possibility to plant more trees. Now, those that are subscribing, they will have their footprint being reduced because they're investing in offsetting, and they will earn Kora for that. But also, Steve, the people working with you, working and planting the trees, they are doing a sustainability work
Hmm.
in Ethiopia. They will also earn Koras, okay? And they can also earn Koras. Then we can have them the wrist with the GPS, so they can start on Kora, and they're working much more than I do. And if in addition to that, they will allow their girls to go to study, they will earn Koras on that as well.
Right.
Now, what can they do with the Kora? They can take this Kora and buy with those Koras through the other partners that we have solar panels. So
Hmm.
suddenly they're working for improving their life through the Kora economy, not connected to, sorry, I don't know the local currency in Ethiopia, but to the local currency that Steve today is paying them. And in this way, you're actually connecting the two worlds for real.
It's
Because
not actually replacing the regular currency, or I guess it would be called fiat currency, right? If you're talking
absolutely,
crypto stuff. So that would be like US dollars, pounds. That's still perfectly fine. It's just you have this extra layer. Just coming back again to airlines, because it's just such an easy way to understand it. It's just a point system that hopefully every company in the world will also accept, in addition to, it's like a global, well, that's, now I get it, it's an earth loyalty program.
totally. And the
Yeah,
reason why we call
that
it
makes sense.
a loyalty program is in order to tell to companies and to people that we are not competing with any fiat currency, and we are not competing with any other loyalty program. So Starbucks can still have their loyalty program, and McDonald's can have their, and everyone can still keep their loyalty program. We're not competing with that. We're adding an, as you said, additional layer that helping everyone to be part of the carbon reduction system.
Hmm. It's an easy, it seems like, at least from a personal level, it seems like a very easy sell, so to speak. I mean, um, because like you said, I mean, it's just tracking stuff we're already doing, which, like we talked about, it's people are already doing that already. I mean, it's like a very natural thing. And then on top of it, you basically get these points that you can redeem for stuff. So it's a really, I mean, people love rewards. That's why reward and loyalty programs work so well, because why not get benefits from what you're already doing,
Correct.
and it encourages more of that behavior. I mean, that's how you change behavior, is by rewarding the good stuff and basically ignoring the bad stuff, isn't it? It's like
Absolutely.
positive reinforcement.
And if you think about it, reward systems actually proven to be working. And without reward system and subsidies will not have wind energy, solar energy,
Mm,
storage energy. They will not be here with us without the early days of subsidizing all that.
right.
So it's proven to work. Another example is, and this is really probably will be one of our, or that's where we want to focus, is working with cities.
Okay.
And if you look at cities, and we're actually talking now to a number of cities in Germany, and they're facing a lot of problem with transportation, infrastructure for transportation, and that's only one example. There are other areas where they want to improve. And we say to cities, like we're saying to companies, if you accept the Kora for tax purpose, because that's a source of income, that's where the city is making their money. Say up to 5% of your real estate tax, except in Kora, that will make the Kora more desirable in the city. So just give a discount on your taxes with Kora. Then people will start to move differently in your city. And
Mm,
your issue of infrastructure for cars, or the problem of parking, or all these issues that you are dealing with will be reduced.
right.
So
Because
it's
rewarding the behavior that prevents the problems in the first place.
correct. Correct. There is a whole area in Germany, the area of Düsseldorf, where it is a major, there are major debates, and they're closing lanes, and there is, people are angry. And instead of doing something which is, okay, now I'm closing a lane, or now I'm putting a tax, we're saying, hey, let's do it the other way around. Let's reward everyone if they change their behavior. And as we spoke about, it works.
Yeah. The part I still don't understand, I know you don't want to talk too much about the currency aspects, but um, so let's say that the German government, well, on a city level, starts accepting Quora. What can a government do with the Quora?
It's very simple. So going back, go back to the 8 trillion that I was talking before. Okay.
Right.
So let's say that the city has a fraction of that. That
Mm,
means that the city has today a climate change costs. What we are telling them, hey, by you investing as little as 2, 3, 4, 5%, you actually, together with us, we help you to create a prevention economy. It's
mhm.
like an early detection in healthcare. Okay, so and again, with companies it's much easier to show, but we have on our board the Gil is the ex chief sustainability officer of Palo Alto, and Gil did an amazing job in Palo Alto, and he actually proved to the city and the citizens, and we have that, we have to put all this into more specific um, proposition per city, and which we are working on, is that at the end of the day, from economical point of view, the city will benefit from that. I'm not talking now about the benefit of of easier life, less stress, etc., etc. I mean, I'm first of all talking about the economical effect,
Right.
okay, rather than anything else. And you don't have to, and that's assuming that the city is just collecting the Korah. However, and now again, I don't want to go into a currency in the currency discussion, but now let's say that the city collected a lot of Koras.
Hmm.
That means that the city created more trust in the Korah, because the ultimate trust in a currency is that you can pay taxes with it, okay? So the ultimate trust in the Kora will be that you can pay taxes with it. We are not dependent on that. We just say what we want to achieve in addition. And and at the same time, the city can go back and start to spend Kora in the community, because now I'm giving a service to the city, and I know that I can go back and pay my taxes, or I can have a discount in the supermarket. Fine, I will accept Kora, as long as the Kora is not becoming, and we don't want to become a threat to the euro, the pound, or the dollar, okay? That's not the purpose. And from there, we can go into the country level as well. I actually discussed that with the vice commissioner in the EU. I already had a meeting with him, and yes, it's in early days, but if you think about it, why not?
Yeah,
It works.
that's amazing. And so, well, it sounds like this could really be an absolutely global system.
Absolutely, that's the purpose.
And what about for the people? I mean, like, I can imagine a lot of people being concerned about data, because this is all sitting on my phone. First, you're tracking where I'm, the number of steps I'm taking, if I'm driving or taking a public transportation, where I'm going. All of that's being tracked, and then now I'm talking about the food I'm eating, and all these other things that I'm basically I'm putting my entire life into the app. So you'll know me almost as well as Facebook does, in a kind of a different way, but more on my habits rather than my photos or where I've been. Personally, I'm not that concerned, but I know I have family and I have friends who are very protective of their data and who knows what. So what's what are your steps on data protection? Or, I mean, how are you going to use all of that information?
So let me be very, very clear, okay? Kora is not going to make a single penny from a private data, okay?
So you're not going to sell it anywhere.
We may sell the data on a community level, and I will explain more about it, but not individually.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to live out of ads, marketing, and all this stuff, which that's what Facebook and Google is doing. So therefore,
targeting me specifically for something I've looked at.
Therefore, and pay attention, you can use the app with it's not even a freemium model. You can use the app fully without subscribing. We offer you a subscription at your own choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe that many people will choose to subscribe. So we will leave out of part of this subscription, because the majority will go into actually reducing your footprint, and from the marketplace. Okay, but the marketplace, we will live from the marketplace, again, without the ads. We will not target you personally, and that's our commitment to our community, not to make use of data personally. What we can do, and assuming, and this is really one of my dream, is to work with the McDonald's of the world, is to say to McDonald's, hey McDonald's, everyone that eating your veggie burger will earn Koras, but we also want you to accept Koras. And here is a general data of behavior of how those that coming to eat your veggie burger, what is their way of behavior. So you, McDonald's, can use that as a general a way to approach your consumer for the veggie burger based on this community level data, because we would like the McDonald's to be able to improve their veggie service, or the veggie burger, which is a carbon reduction burger, reduced burger, yes, and to be able to do it in a more efficient way. But we will not target you personally and allow McDonald's to know that Daniel is eating veggie burger and to target you
Right.
as a consumer.
So it's more like general market research almost,
Absolutely.
being able to see trends in terms of if someone does X, Y, Z, then and they also eat veggie burgers. Here's kind of what you can expect from that type of general person or that community.
Absolutely. And we think it's very important because we want McDonald's to improve. We want
Yeah.
the oil companies to do more to we would like that the oil companies that it's a dream, but that their renewable energy division will be the largest. And if we can help them with a general data of how the 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 community is acting,
Right.
then they think this is very valuable to what we want to achieve. But we will absolutely not allow up categoric. Look, I personally don't like it. I don't like to be targeted, and I don't want to do to others what I don't like.
Yeah. Well, in that case, it sounds like our data is safe, which is really good. And I mean, like you're saying, you when we first talked, you were saying that you've suffered somehow from being targeted by ads, and so you definitely don't want to do that to others because if it's unpleasant or if you've had negative experiences.
The philosophy behind Kora is how can we do things positively,
Right.
and you don't want to hurt. I mean, what's the point to hurt your community, because you as a company and the community is one,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you didn't ask for it, but it's also our. I mean, this is investors are asking me about our exit plan, and the plan is to turn Kora into a trust. So we think that assuming Kora will become so big, we want to give it back to the community and to
Mm-hmm.
let the world be the owner of the Kora.
So that, I mean, basically what you're saying by that is that your personal gain from Quora, assuming that it becomes very successful, is minimal. You won't be able to sell it off for billions, or I mean, what does it really mean that it becomes a trust?
I don't want to say minimal or maximal, but certainly as I don't trust myself in a way, if the thing is when the thing is growing so big, then you want to do an IPO and you want to sit on all this. I don't trust myself, and therefore, in our shareholders agreement, it stated very clearly that we want to turn it into a trust or organization or what have you. We didn't want to start there because we think that we are acting much more efficient by being for profit
Mm-hmm.
company, and I see that. I see the acceleration. I see the so everything, and we didn't want to be dependent on donations.
Right.
Um, so yes, we're starting for profit, but the plan is to turn it into a trust. So the companies actually will buy the shareholders, and then we didn't decide yet who should be the trust owners,
Mm-hmm.
but it should be other countries or maybe the community. We didn't. We are not there yet. We have first to start to
Yeah.
the first thousands, 10,000, hundred, and then millions of users. But that's the intention,
Very
and
cool. And
and this is part of the overall philosophy which is part of Kora and what Kora is based on.
yeah, it fits in with the Earth Loyalty Program. And so when does it launch? Because you said it's not quite ready yet, but it's on its way.
So we probably will launch the app will be launched by the end of April. That's what my team promising me. And
Is that on both iOS and Android?
no, at the beginning will be only iOS.
Okay.
Sorry for that. My apologies. So probably Android will be towards the end of the year.
Okay.
But we will launch the loyalty program already next month on our website. So you can already subscribe on the app's website. and then it will all move into the app once the app is out there.
Oh, so on the website, I'll be able to start tracking my data?
No, on the app you can start to subscribe and just assume, okay, I want to start to offset my carbon,
Hmm.
and start to move the whole the projects and that I mentioned before.
Ah, okay,
And
very
then
cool.
they will be migrate into your into the app once you, and then you will see how it affected your pre-launch work.
Oh,
So
cool.
when you get the app, you already have quite a lot of Kora.
Excellent. Well, that's the way to do it. That makes you feel better about it when you start. And so where can we sign up for it? Uh, what's the website, and where can we find more about Kora and the app?
So Kora with Kora dot
Hmm.
app.
Hmm.
And we are, we are in the social media, so Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Please do subscribe. We really need this support. The more people coming in, we actually, as a community, will create the value and be able to create a very, very exciting new economy, sustainability economy together.
Yeah, so thank you very much for your time, Gilad. I think the work you're doing is really cool. And personally, I'm excited to download the app and well, actually get up and running with it on the website first. I'm really interested to see what my carbon emissions are in kilograms, because like you said, I can't feel it. I have absolutely no idea. And I think a lot of other people would be really interested too. So best of luck with it. And let us know how we as a community can help you grow and be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate that. And yeah, as you said, it's our work together. It's not, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to learn more about Kora app and get started and download it and get up and running with it, then you can visit their website, which is just Kora.app, and Kora is spelled Kora. And those are also the points or kind of tokens that you'll be earning. They're called Koras. You can also follow Kora on Instagram, which is at Kora.app. You can check them out on Facebook. It's at Kora Sustainability. And they're also on LinkedIn if you just search for Kora App. So if you enjoyed the episode, also give us a 5-star rating on the podcast listening platform of your choice, and share this with your friends. Maybe they'll be interested in getting up and running with Kora as well. And one step at a time, we can start reducing our carbon emissions. So thank you very much. Also, if you've watched this on YouTube, hit subscribe below and subscribe to the podcast so that you can be the first to know about the next episode. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.